it goes to car insurance first and is approved by car insurance, which is, again, why I will reiterate there is a complex relationship between all of these kinds of insurance, and the discrimination that you're trying to make, Destiny especially, between health insurance and car insurance is just a fallacy.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Made in your own mind. Third-party liability.
What do you think third-party liability means?
It's a specific term used, again, with the insurance having its own definitions. It's actually a specific branch of insurance companies that's used to interact between the car insurance and medical insurance. It is used because, first and foremost, they are different kinds of insurance. But if the car insurance denies the claim, it does not go to medical. It has to be approved by the car insurance company to go to medical in the first place.
So one, I'm not even sure if that's true, and two, the very easy counter.
Okay, look it up.
The very easy counter that you understand that you're not required to carry like medical insurance for your own accidents, right? So if I get into a car accident and I don't have car insurance. Are you making an assumption about my claim?
No, if you're making an assumption, you can ask me my opinion. I don't understand why you're making an assumption.
This is going to be in, and I know this is probably
I don't want to guess.
Well,
okay, if you won't even believe my statement that I know is correct, I don't want to hear your
You've been wrong about almost every single thing you said.
It.
Third-party liability probably has to do with the fact that you can't make a double.
Probably, based on your assumption.
Link me exactly what you're reading, and I will educate you on how absolutely stupid and clueless you are about this particular thing. I absolutely will. I can't educate you because you don't know anything about what you're talking about. Go ahead, link me. What do you link me exactly what you're reading? Go. Link me. Go ahead. Link me.
Obviously more educated on this.
Link me. Go ahead. Link me.
Well, you guys are linking each other.
Before I read what you're saying, my guess is third-party liability tries to avoid two things. One is if you get into an accident where you're clearly like at fault or you've done something bad, or the car insurance company has checked it out and you're not liable at all for a particular thing, and they say there's no injury here, you can't go to a health insurance afterwards and try to get a claim that somebody else already validated is like, this is absolute bullshit. Number one. Or number two, it's something you can't do double claims. I can't go to my car insurance and say, hey, I got an injury, can you give me money for it? Oh, and go to your personal insurance and say, hey, can you give me money for this injury, so you don't do a double claim. That's my guess for what third-party liability has to do. Usually you go down a line of liability so you're not double claiming. This is the same thing with credit cards and other types of liability insurance as well. Link me what you're reading. Link me what you're reading. Link me what you're reading.
Third-party liability.
Holy cow, that jaw was swiveling in overtime. Destiny going off on this panel of libtards. We'll see. Let's see who makes more sense here, because this is going to be a battle. It's a battle of the libtards, people. Let's see who comes out victorious.
Wait, Buckaroo. Look, can I? Because you guys are talking past each other. Can I just say?
You guys are just not listening to me.
We're not talking past each other. We just disagree because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
We are going to mute for a moment so I can do this thing, okay? We're going to give it to Soy. It's Soy's turn. You can link Destiny, the appropriate thing, and you guys can have that little back and forth later. But I want to hear Soy's opinion, and he was asked a very interesting question.
Okay, I'll get to this.
Someone calls themselves the Soy Pill? What? Is that like an ironic name? Well, it doesn't look like it's an ironic name, but is it like supposed to be funny? Or does he really think like, yeah, I'm going to own it. Yeah, man, I'm the soy boy. Yeah, I'm going to drop the soy pill. No, sorry. Too deep a voice. I'm going to drop the soy pill on you guys.
Right. But I want to say like about you guys. Yeah, I'll get to that. But the thing that you guys are arguing, like Destiny, you were talking about how the examples we brought up were from auto insurance. It's not applicable to health insurance. I agree. Like it's not one-to-one. What Buckaroo is trying to say is that sometimes the health of people is determined by these companies that do auto insurance. I think that's all she's trying to establish, and that sometimes these bad practices, these examples that we brought up that you said weren't applicable, could be applicable to someone's health. That's it, right? Am I correct?
I do think yes, but I do think he understands that. I think he just blatantly misunderstands the concept of third.
No, it's more bad faith in it. Just let him talk. Just let no. Don't assume what he's saying.
I don't know why this is not the rule. We're just talking about such a niche thing. It's like talking about. It's like saying we're having
what third-party liability is in the first place. It's like he literally made a whole assumption about it. He's arguing based on that blatant assumption.
This is why
you're talking about
medical policies.
You're
talking about minimum liability coverage, and that's it.
Oh, stop! Soy, you were asked a question. You should have just answered my goddamn question.
Okay. I don't believe in doing direct harm to the CEO, because I believe there's, like probably everyone on the opposite side of this debate, that there are lots of things that we can do to make this better. I believe in making the numbers more transparent. I believe we can vote for people that will get single-payer systems. I believe we can put more regulations on hospital costs. So no, I don't think you should go grape the CEO. But the whole point of this argument, and the thing we'll never get to because we keep arguing about whether or not the insurance is even doing this, is once we know that if, assuming the insurance is doing this, and Professor Bunn has tried to address this several times, then is it justifiable for someone who is suffering under that system to do something about it? And I don't know if we'll ever get that. But,
we won't, because because most people are gonna be very narrow in their agreements there. They're going to be slightly opposed or slightly in favor of. I'm sure that even for Eucharist, as principles he might say he is, as a fucking conservative professor, mustache having motherfucker, I'm sure I could find scenarios where you would argue that it's understandable or maybe even justified to take action against some system that is horrendously failing you. That if I can show you that police officers are intentionally ignoring 911 calls where you're being murdered or whatever, that there are probably times when vigilantism is not only understood, but maybe even morally acceptable as a way to further some goal with a system that's clearly broken. But most of our moral arguments are going to take place within the framework of a system that we believe is functioning to some extent. So that's why we have to make the argument for whether the system is functioning or not. Vigilantism is a great thing in tribal societies where there's no court. Vigilantism is a horrible thing in societies where you do have court.
Wow, what an idiot. So, yeah, listen, I don't know what this dude's going to say. I guess the conservative, the dude with the mustache is the token conservative there. But no, as a conservative myself, no, I don't believe even in Destiny's example, if there was an evidence that police weren't answering phone calls or something, I wouldn't be then, oh yeah, it's cool if they just go and just start unaliving policemen. Then yeah, sure, that's justifiable. No, never. Heck, I think Joe Biden ruined our country. He sent this country down the crapper. And yet, I'm not sitting here and being like, yeah, we should totally go unalive Joe Biden. And if someone did try that, I would disavow it. No. In my opinion, you should only use violence if it's in self-defense, and I mean active self-defense, like someone's actively attacking you or about to attack you or something. Then it's warranted. Yeah, or if it turns out the guy was a huge scumbag. Let's say there was a guy running a freaking child corn ring or something like that, then yeah, that's probably the only time where I think vigilantism is not a bad idea. That's probably the only time where I'd be like, yeah, you know what, yeah, I'll allow it. But any other instance, yeah, no. Let the court system do their jobs.
Link in the general chat in the Slack. General for Big Papa Buckaroo.
I also put it.
Well, but that's what's so interesting. Destiny, because it seems like if I were able to show you that this was happening, and clearly I haven't, and that's fine, I accept that, then would you find it potentially justifiable in the same way that you said, yeah, with the 911 calls, with any of these other things, if for the people specifically who are not able to do and wait around for the regulation to catch up, who are specifically hoping that someone goes out, makes this big message, and causes something to happen in the immediate, well, what do you say to those people? Because that's the whole thing I said at the beginning. I will concede if you can show me there's a better alternative for the people who do not have the time to wait for that sort of regulation to come in and change the laws for a new system to come, especially considering Donald Trump's about to come in, probably cut Medicare, get rid of regulations, maybe even abolish the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which helps people who deal with these claims. It does happen. So what do we tell those people? Because if you have a better option, if all these
problems are happening and you have to do vigilantism and that's literally the only thing, then of course, definitionally, you're saying by last recourse, then sure, then that's the last recourse. I'm just saying that I don't think these problems are happening like this in the USA, which is why
at all. Ever to one person, 10 people, any number,
I'm
right?
sure that I can find one example of anything happening anywhere. Okay,
so what do you tell that person? What does that person do for recourse?
If you want to go vigilantism, then if it's at the point where you're being personally vindictively targeted by some insurance exec or a doctor, then fucking go for it. Hey, knock yourself out. But that's not what we're arguing here, and I don't like to even concede that because that's a bad faith argument. Because you're arguing, or maybe not you, no, you were, because you were the one that raised your hand. Is that the random assassination of a terrorist on the street by a healthcare CEO is somehow justified because of the state at large of our healthcare industry in the United States? That is a far cry from I live in Minnezuki, Missouri, and there's a healthcare agent that I fucked their mom when we were in high school, and now he's pushing the denial button on my chemotherapy over and over and over again because he fucking hates me. These are two totally different types of claims, and the latter will never read to justifying the former, in my opinion.
Well, Destiny was mostly wrong in this debate. Well, everyone here was mostly wrong in this debate, but where Destiny did get right is the whole bad faith argument they were trying to get him at. I'm yeah. I have nothing left to say. The example that he brought up was correct. But still, these lunatic lefties, how they try to justify this, assassination is wild. Even there's no argument that they could bring up about, yeah, what about all these people denied their claims and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Well, how is unaliving the CEO going to make those claims happen? How is that going to take care of your surgery or whatever you need, or your chemo, whatever it is that you need paid for? How is unaliving the CEO going to magically make that happen? It doesn't. It doesn't. All you're doing is justifying violent, basically huge violent tantrums and terrorism, because that's what it is. It's terrorism. You're trying to make an example out of someone, and hopefully that the other insurance companies then follow suit and change their ways, and all of a sudden, I guess, give everybody what they want. No. And that's why I've been arguing against it from the first place. And it seems like Destiny here is kind of arguing that it sounds like he's arguing against the unaliving attempt, but I don't know, man. Destiny is he's just ridiculous. And I don't know if this is just another instance of him just being a freaking contrarian just to be a contrarian or what it is. I don't know how anyone takes him seriously. He's pretty much a glorified troll at this point. What do you guys think about it? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. And if you do enjoy content like this, I got a whole bunch more goodies for you on the screen to binge on and enjoy.